From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Wow Report, where we count down the top 10 things of the week that make us go wow. That is James St. James, our host of our podcast Night Fever, and also joining us this week is Blake Jacobs, who's filling in for Tom Campbell, who's just ping-ponging all over the world at the moment. So I think he's currently in Chattanooga. Hi, Blake.
Hi.
And me, Fenton Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder. Oh, we're on a new time, right?
5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast.
And do you think this is part of just moving you later and later until you're like somewhere in the graveyard shift and then like you're not on the air anymore? Is that like...
I feel like we're the party starters, like on the West
Coast. I think we're finally ready for prime time is what it is.
Yeah. On the West Coast, you're on your way home to start your weekend, and on the East Coast, you're getting ready to start your weekend. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll buy
it. You're pre-gaming is what you're doing. You have us on while you pre-game.
Exactly.
Taylor Swift is on her way. All right. Let's start at number 10.
Number 10.
Yes, I went to see Lisa Frankenstein. Have you guys heard of this?
Yes, of course. Cole Sprouse or Dylan Sprouse? Which is the Sprouse boys?
I think it's Cole.
I think it's Cole too, yes.
Either Zach or Cody. Didn't Dylan like kind of step out of the limelight?
He's back. Dylan is in a new movie as well coming out this week, and so we'll talk about him next week.
Okay. Well, this was directed by Diablo Cody. It's set in the 80s. It reminded me a lot of Edward Scissorhands, kind of.
Okay. Not a bad thing.
No, or like Encino Man, where they find, a person from out of this world or not of this time, or
a fish out of water scenario.
Exactly.
But you sort of have to explain what the pun is, I think, to our older generation.
Okay. Lisa Frank was / is, I guess it's kind of coming back now, but Lisa Frank is a brand. Super bright colors, neon, 80s.
Remember, everybody in the 80s and 90s had a Lisa Frank backpack, a Lisa Frank, crayon set, stickers. She was big on stickers and glitter and just bright colors and ponies and unicorns and
folders for school, Trapper Keepers mainly. Yes.
Right.
And so this is a Frankenstein version of Lisa Frank?
Not really. It doesn't. It's just a play on the names. It's just like an 80s telling of. So Lisa Frank in this sense kind of means 80s of Frankenstein. I like it.
Is it a documentary? Is it a feature film? What is it?
It's
a horror film. It's a campy horror film set in the 80s with a female Frankenstein. Am I correct? Sort of.
No. It's the female is actually Mr. Hyde, I guess.
Okay.
Zach
so
or Cody.
Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
Yeah, she like finds a zombie guy who is Zach or Cody, whichever color Dylan Sprouse, and they, spoiler alert, fall in love. I mean, you can.
There was a cute zombie love story. I remember a few years ago with Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies. God, that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
But it just seems like it's been done before. I don't,
This has not gotten good reviews, I will say that. A lot of people were excited about it, and then when it came out, everyone sort of trashed it, which is sort of is the Diablo Cody arc, I guess, of everything she does. There's buzz about it, and then it sort of falls into a flop.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Like it was or whatever. So it was interesting that it didn't even beat, like, it didn't top the box office. It was beat by the other movie that's whatever. I don't know.
Well, it's a shame because I do love that little Cole Sprouse. He's fun on talk shows is what he is.
Yeah. The second movie I saw that I really did like is the last voyage of the Demeter, which is a horror movie. It is okay. So have either of you read the book Dracula?
Absolutely, love it.
I had never read it. I was talking to James about
He doesn't know anything about Dracula or Frankenstein or the Bride of Frankenstein. I grilled him about this today. Never seen any of them ever.
Well, yeah, I just thought like, but by the time I came about, like those.
Don't give it. I'm so young. People my age don't watch horror films like that. We watch things from the 2020s.
No, I thought like Silence of the Lambs was scary. Like I did not think that like zombies and vampires or whatever. Anyway, the Demeter there's a part in the book where very briefly Dracula is on his way from Romania to London, and the captain's logs are what the whole book is told, I guess, through letters, and the captain's log is this part where he's on his way from Romania to London. This whole movie is just about the voyage of that ship.
Because doesn't he get out of his coffin on the boat?
Right.
Slay.
When the boat docks or when they find the boat, it's a ghost ship and there's nobody on it because, yes.
Exactly. I loved this movie. I thought I would give this definitely like a B+, and it's streaming now on Paramount Plus.
You're so generous. A B+. Oh my God.
Well, it was really good, and it led me to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. James and I were talking about this earlier.
Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Gary Oldman. Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant movie. One of the best costume designs of all time.
So I watched that last night, and just to see, because Steven, my roommate and best friend, he's read the books, he's loved the movies. So he had to
as most people do.
Well, he had to explain things to me, but I would give this one B+. Yeah, I liked it, even though James and I were talking about like CGI versus like practical effects, because the effects from 1992, which was 32 years ago now, are a little subpar.
Well, then don't watch the 1939 version, please, whatever you do.
I have a feeling, and I'm not going to be able to land it, which is that the Demeter is the name of a spaceship in a sci-fi movie, and I can't remember which one.
Is it like Aliens or something?
It might be Alien or something else, but
it is actually, Steven mentioned Alien and how similar this movie kind of was to the plot of Alien, the movie.
Well, I guess, yes, because it is yes, right.
Well, there is an actual spaceship called Demeter that is orbiting the planet right now, a satellite.
It's like calling your spaceship the Titanic. You wouldn't want to do it.
Or calling your child Damien. And saying
exactly, right. But it's a beautiful name. Demeter, Damien, Titanic. These are gorgeous names. Prometheus.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. All right. Well, that's the last voyage of the Demeter. Any other movies?
That's it. Lisa Frankenstein is in theaters. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is on Paramount Plus, and you're going to have to rent Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Got it. I love it. 3 horror movies. Fantastic. Thank you. Number 9, James.
Number 9.
Trailer Park. 2 trailers dropped this week that I want to talk about. The first is Deadpool and Wolverine, which debuted, and within 24 hours, it became the most viewed trailer ever, with 367 million views in 24 hours. And that was just the first 24 hours. Since then, it has gone on to just do gangbusters. It's absolutely bananas. I love Deadpool. It is my favorite Marvel property. I think Ryan Reynolds kills it every time. I love him so much. I love the fact that he just gets to go bonkers with the script and play with it and do whatever he wants. I'm very excited to see this one. The other one, however, is Wicked. And we saw our first glimpse of Wicked. And I wish Tom was here because I got some problems with it. And he would be a little ray of light and make it all better. But but we don't have Tom. We've got James St. James. And I am upset. First of all, I'm upset because, they split the movie into 2 parts. There's part 1 and part 2, and that never works for me. I don't understand it. I think if you're a good screenwriter, I think if you're a good director, you can get it to 3 hours. You just can. There's no reason why you can't have it 3 hours. Yes.
An argument against that, I will not see a movie if it's 3 hours. So,
but will you go see part 2 if you're just about part 1? Because you are the target audience here, and you're going to hate part 1, so you're never good. No, part 2s never work. Nobody ever goes and sees them. And the big problem is you're going to end part 1 with Defying Gravity, the big song. The only reason you're dying by Defying Gravity, and then Fade to Black, boom, you have to wait 2 years for the rest of it. And you've already shot your load. You've already shot your wad on the big number. So where do you go from there? Number 2, people are saying that Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are not teenagers by any stretch of the means. You can't imagine them as young girls. But then if Tom were here, he would say that Stockard Channing was in her 60s when she played Rizzo in Grease, and nobody gave a fuck. So that's not a big deal. My really big problem here, though, and was what we were just about to talk about with the last topic, is that it's all just a CGI crap fest. And, it's weird that in 1939, they built a more beautiful Oz than what CGI can give us. And as we saw this year with Barbie, when they built actual sets for Barbie, and Barbie is not CGI. It is all the dream houses, the Barbie Town Village. Everything was just a feast for the eyes. It was so visually gorgeous to look at. And if you're going to spend $1 billion on a movie, why do you have to spend the $1 billion on CGI? Why couldn't they have built us a gorgeous Oz to see? So those are my problems. Have you guys seen either of these trailers?
Yep.
I haven't either, but I am excited to see Wicked. I know Steven, my roommate bestie, he is obsessed with Wolverine and Deadpool. So he's mostly excited about that. Me, I'm excited to see Wicked because, James, we were talking earlier about how I discovered Dracula and Truman Capote this year. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually know the story of Wicked.
Okay. Well, like I said, Deadpool is my favorite. I also love Venom. Those are my two go-to Marvels that I just can watch endlessly on a loop. So, I'm excited for both of them. I will be there first day for both of them. So there you go.
All right. You can see the trailers for both of those at worldofwonder.net/Wow Report. Number 8. James, following on from what you're saying about real versus CGI, I'm reading a book called Filterworld, and I cannot for the life of me remember the title of this book. I've been planning to talk about it all week, and I keep on thinking, what is the name of that book? I've sort of forgotten it again and again. Anyway, it's called Filterworld, and I'm not sure that that's a bad title, but the subtitle really nails it. It's How Algorithms Flattened Culture, and it's by Kyle Chayka. And his basic idea is that algorithms are sort of making everything the same. One of his sort of most compelling examples is the idea of coffee shops, that people go and set up their laptops and access the internet. His argument is that they all now look the same. They all have...
All the coffee shops look the same?
Raw wood tables, exposed brick, hanging Edison light bulbs, marble tops. This sort of sameness began in a pre-internet era with airports, which were sort of, no places, non-places. But that idea is spreading thanks to algorithms and the internet culture, where everywhere ends up being sort of the same. Because Airbnb is another example he gives. Airbnb started out as you're going to go and stay in someone's house, and that was going to be a quirky, bespoke experience or a unique experience. It was more like couch surfing, but now it's become much more sort of high end, and there's almost a template for what an Airbnb should look like. It should be sort of slightly industrial, slightly mid-century modern, not too cluttered.
And you're not in someone's actual home. You're in someone's home that they bought to use as an Airbnb.
Yes.
Does this have to do also with the fact of these home renovation shows where everything ends up being the beige, the beige backsplash with the gray walls and how everything, all of culture is itself just becoming sort of
Well,
beige
I feel
and
like it's
gray.
not really the HGTV shows. It's more the people that buy the houses that do. Well, they want to do the safe thing, something that everyone
Will
likes.
resell the
Yeah.
But so algorithms is a way of getting the most I guess information out to the people, and so you have to sort of flatten it. You can't be edgy, I guess, is sort of
I
the way
think
it
that's
works.
it. That it's a sort of globular-like consensus of the global mind that we're all being fed algorithms all the time, right? So we're in an echo chamber, which he says is sort of degrading our capacity for original thinking and sort of dissuading you from original thinking and certainly pushing you towards what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
And I mean, I haven't finished the book, and in the book, this guy decides to take an algorithmic cleanse, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick through that because, you know,
your job precludes that. There's no way on earth you Fenton Bailey can tune out and drop out.
And it's like that, but it's also like books against television. You know, I think I've always found that books that are like Jeremiah's about popular culture or technology or modernity, they're just print-based bigoted screeds.
But in fact, you end up reading them all. You fall for the clickbait every time. Even
there you go. It's clickbait.
It's irritation culture
is an algorithmic product, right?
Yeah, it's outrage culture. They know that it's going to outrage you, so you end up buying it and you end up feeding into it.
I get the book, I buy the book, and then I go on Radio Eddie and complain about it.
You regurgitate it to our listeners.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But there's some neat ideas in it. Like he talks about airspace, which he says like a Nike sneaker for its geographically neutral comfort. This sort of idea of bland banality that is sort of style-ish, or I think in one of the Airbnb guides, it recommends that you show personality in your house, but not personal items, which is sort of personality is a thing. Oh, I've got personality. I'm a little quirky, as opposed to genuinely personal, intimate, who you might be sort of thing. So it's kind of an interesting idea. He tells this hilarious story about in 1770, some guy trying to impress Mary Antoinette's mother designed
Empress Therese of Austria-Hungary. Yes,
I believe so. You're right. Yes. Thank you. You know your empresses so well. He designed a device called the Mechanical Turk, which was basically a chessboard, a computerized chessboard that could beat any human. And the trick of this computerized chessboard in 1770, there was a little person hidden inside who was actually doing all the moving and other stuff. And what I didn't know is that, well, Blake, you'll know that the drive at World of Wonder is called the Turk. And so I reached out to Tommy Wolf. I said, Tommy, is that why the Turk drive at World of Wonder that holds all our data is called the Mechanical Turk? Because is it named after this? And he said, yes. All the drives at World of Wonder are named after famous robots.
And all of our vans are. Our vans that we bought, like the minivan is Wall-E. And then we have Bender and Flexo, who are from Futurama. Those are our cargo vans.
I learn something new every day.
Huh.
And the book is by Kyle Chaker, and it's Filterworld, How Algorithms Flattened Culture. All right. You can't spell February without Ru. It's February. New episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16 and RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World every Friday this month. So on Wire Presents Plus, of course.
That's right. And I have a question. Both of my questions are related, but you'll find out later in the show what they have to do with each other. The team that wrote the music for Disney's 1989 The Little Mermaid, Ashman and Menken, also wrote the music for this mid-80s hit musical turned film from 1986. What was it?
Oh my gosh. All right.
Musical turned film.
From 1986. All right. Well, we'll have the answer right after the break. Counting down the top 10 things that made you go, wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton here with James and Blake. We're counting down the top 10 things of the week that make us go,
wow.
And, oh yeah, Blake, you had a question for us.
I did. The team that wrote the music for Disney's 89 film, The Little Mermaid, Ashman and Menken, they also wrote the music for this mid-80s hit musical turned film from 1986. What is it?
Gosh, is it Les Mis? Is it Chess?
Nope.
Is it Miss Saigon?
No.
I have no freaking idea.
1986. I can get this. Is it like a Disney thing?
Footloose, but that was a movie. It wasn't a musical, was it?
It was The Little Shop of Horrors, of course.
Oh, well, that was. But yes, you're right. That was a musical turned into a movie, turned into another musical, and it was a movie turned into a musical. Remember, there was the 1950s Jack Nicholson version.
Oh right.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
and the musical was 86, or that was the movie. Oh.
The movie was 86. The movie was 86 with.
I remember seeing the musical in 85 with Musto. It was down. It was off Broadway. Yeah,
it was down in the East Village, wasn't it?
Yeah, like on 14th and 2nd or something like that.
Right.
Well, I watched it on my family's big satellite that went.
Suddenly Seymour.
Yeah.
Oh God, somewhere that's green. Oh God, I could just sob.
Now we need Tom to sing to break into song.
There's a Disney Plus doc called Howard, which is Ashman's first name, and it's out on Disney Plus now. If you want it, if you care more to know more about them.
Okay, all right. We're counting down top 10 things that made us go wow. We've reached number 7. Blake.
Number 7.
Is everyone in their Joanne era again?
What is that?
The first Joanne era was, of course, Lady Gaga's
in her mauve hat, yes.
Which was followed by pop stars doing country albums like Kylie Minogue and Miley Cyrus. And now Lana Del Rey and Beyonce are doing their own.
Oh, yes. Beyonce has the second part of the Renaissance trilogy will be country and the third will be folk or something. What is the third one?
Well, that I was going to ask you guys. I didn't know there was going to be. I didn't know that they had already announced the third one. I know the first
is Deep House and Queer House, and the second is country, and the third is something else. I think it might be. Yeah. And these are up, but she says that she is not touring for her country album, that you're going to have to come to her, which probably means a Vegas residency at the Dome is what people are speculating.
Well, there's also speculation that, she announced this during the Super Bowl, like right around halftime, which we'll speak about later. But she released 2 singles, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. So, and I've read that she's the first Black woman to top the country charts. It's also rumored that Taylor Swift...
What about Lil Nas X?
He's not a woman.
Okay.
He's a lady, but he's not a woman. It's rumored that Taylor Swift may have a feature on the album. They asked.
I've heard that she might be covering Jolene as well.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, because they both, supported each other at their AMC concert film.
Yes, Beyonce showed up for the Taylor movie on the red carpet. Yes, so there's obviously something in the works.
Killa B, is a producer for Renaissance, and he said if Taylor would feature on Renaissance too, he said, let's just say Beyonce's on the approach of shocking the world. So,
well, Killa B was just on The View this past week, and he's quite a nice guy. I actually enjoy. I like him a lot. I think he's a good guy.
Oh, that's
hardly
good.
a killer. Hardly a killer at all.
Exactly.
Well, that's all I got for Hot Topics this week. I mean, I'm just waiting on Renaissance Part 2. Have you guys heard the singles?
I have heard one of them, yeah.
Do you like it?
Okay, I'm the contrary. Country just leaves me cold. I've never understood it as a genre.
Well, as a Brit, you aren't supposed to. It's a strictly American form of art. And so
and art is used loosely now with today's country and the bro shit that ugh.
Yeah, but I think, what's your name? Fenton. Fenton, I think if I sat you down with some Patsy Cline and some old Johnny Cash and some, Tammy Wynette and stuff like that, I think Tom could give you a thorough
Right.
tour in which
Okay.
you would end up enjoying.
So
And get
Blake's
you
going to
through
do
the 70s.
Bram Stoker and Mary Shelley, and I'm going to do some country deep diving, right?
There we
I
go.
just didn't get it. I was like, why is she doing country? But of course, yes, if it's Renaissance and there's going to be another genre, I don't know.
Renaissance.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. James, number 6.
Number 6.
I started watching Expats on Prime. Do you know about Expats?
I do, but I have not watched it. Should I?
Okay. Okay. It's Nicole Kidman.
I saw that there's a big ding dong on Oh My God blog from this show.
I haven't gotten there yet, but it's probably Jack. What's his name?
Me off.
What?
Jack me off.
No, girl. Can I please start? Well, can we just all start over again without
We should
this
start the whole show over
digression here about ding dongs and for fuck's sake. Okay. Expats on Prime starring Nicole Kidman. Okay. And Nicole Kidman is a wealthy woman living with her husband and 2 children in Hong Kong. She's icy. She's a little cold. She does what Nicole Kidman does so well, right? Yes. She's it seems that she's grieving, or she's lost. There's something that has happened, a recent tragedy in her life, and we come to find out that she's lost a child, little Gus. Little Gus is dead, and she is throwing a party in the first episode for her husband, a 50th birthday party, and everyone keeps saying, "It's too soon, Margaret. It's too soon. It's too soon to celebrate. You can't do it. You aren't ready. You aren't ready." And she says, "No, no, no." And she puts on this green velvet gown, and she's got this little bob, this little orange bob. She looks so chic, and she puts on one bangle and looks just divine. And she's at the party, right? And there's it's crowded and it's sort of the party's sort of bombing, but there's a server, and there's a young Asian girl, and she's serving, and all of a sudden she looks around, and she sees the pictures of the family. She sees Nicole, she sees little Gus, she sees the family's name, and she drops the tray, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is the boy that I killed, And Nicole from across the room sees her, and she says, "What are you doing here? You can't be here. And she runs up, and the girl runs out into the kitchen, and she grabs another server, and she's shaking her, saying, "What are you doing? And they're like, Margaret, it's not her. What is wrong with you, Margaret? And have you lost your mind?" And this girl's like screaming, "I don't know what you're doing. And this is like the first 20 minutes of the series. And so the girl runs out of the building, and she's sobbing like she can't believe that she was in the house of the people that she killed. And everyone is saying to poor Margaret that it was too soon. You're obviously losing your mind. Poor Margaret. Then the next episode is a flashback into how little Gus died, and we see him on a yacht. There's a party on a yacht, and he's running to and fro, and everyone's like, "Where's Gus?" And obviously he's going to fall over any second. And the girl, she says that she's going to be the new nanny, or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's Nicole Kidman doing what Nicole Kidman does best, and she has little fabulous outfits, and she plays a chilly waspy woman.
And then I guess we don't know what happens next.
I think there's 6 episodes out now. I think there were 4 episodes when I started watching, so I think they come in a series of 2. So I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Well, spoiler alert: there's going to be a big ding dong coming up.
Well, it's what's his name? Hold on, you're gonna have to stop.
He's like Houston, I think.
Danny Houston, Jack Houston,
I think.
Jack Houston, who is so handsome, and he plays a fellow expat, one of Nicole's friend's husband who's cheating, and he's sort of hot. He's a bad guy, but he's a hot bad guy.
Is that the ding dong, Blake?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send you guys pictures.
All right. Oh, I see. So we're making an allusion to the size of something.
A size of a ding dong, I guess.
Right. Are you? No, Are we talking about a row, or are we talking about a body part?
Oh, his ding dong, his penis.
You are talking about. I thought you were talking about a controversy and an argument.
A controversy.
All right. Okay. All right. That's Expats streaming on Prime.
Wait, hold on. I'm seeing the penis. Hold on. It's not opening. It's not opening.
Oh, Blake just sent us the link so we can take in the ding dong.
Oh, he's naked. Ben Hur and Boardwalk star Jack Houston.
Scrolling down.
God, he is so handsome. Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's kind of dark, but
I'm not really.
Oh, we've already seen his ass. Yes, getting out of the shower.
Oh, there you go. There's the ding dong. All right. Should we go to number 5?
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Number 5. Okay.
Number 5.
Do you know, this is a Blake question, do you know what the American Dialect Society word of the year was in the end of 2023?
oh no, I don't. I know it was vaccine one year.
No. No, the word of the year was enshitification. Enshitification, which immediately makes you think, oh, this is one of those poop segments they do on the Wow Report all the time. But actually, it's not. Cory Doctorow, who was a Boing Boing blogger and is a principal member of the EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, or the Electronic Freedom Foundation, one of those. Anyway.
Wait, from Boing Boing, right? Is that what you just said?
It is, yes.
Yes, okay.
He came up with the word enshitification, which is the pattern of decreasing quality of online platforms that act as two-sided markets. So, for example, Amazon, right? Amazon gets you because it offers you can buy books or things really inexpensively, and it's super convenient. And then Amazon introduces Amazon Prime subscription, which encourages users to shop more with Amazon. And that then brings more suppliers and people who make things to Amazon. So now Amazon has got the customers on the one hand buying stuff, and they got the sellers on the other hand selling stuff. And then what it does is it basically cuts both off at the knees. And this is what he calls by enshitification. He calls it platform decay. He says, first they're good to their users, then they abuse their users.
Like B&B or Airbnb.
Yeah.
Right, to make things better for their business customers. And then finally, they abuse those business customers and claw back all the value for themselves, and then they die. And that,
or Twitter going to X, yes, or HBO Max, yes. All so much is enshitification.
He's got enshitification. He's got another word too. Well, not a word. It didn't create this word, but twiddling, which is the continual adjustment of the parameters of the system in search of marginal improvements of profits for the platform owner.
Which leads the twiddling leads to the enshitification because and invariably you twiddle too much and everything falls.
Right, you enshittify by twiddling. Yes.
Yeah. Which is the HBO Max and the X factor.
Right. I mean, he says it's X, it's Facebook, it's Amazon, it's
Meta. Yes.
Pretty much everything. And I'm not quite sure what the solution is. He did have some solution, but I didn't quite get that far. But I thought,
but it seems to me that because I wanted to do a segment about when the branding failures of the last like 4 or 5 years,
right.
And it seems like the list just grew too long. It would have to be a whole hour episode.
What was that streaming service that was like Qbert or something?
Oh, Quibi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quick
it was supposed to take over the world. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Snapchat was, yeah.
Right. Oh, Snapchat. Yeah. Like MySpace.
Friendster.
Right. Should we take a break?
Let's.
Hey Queen. Streaming exclusively on World of Wonders platform, Wow Presents Plus. Let's hope it's not doing any enshitification.
Don't put it in the universe.
We're not going to do any twiddling. Johnny McGovern sits down with the eliminated queen from each week of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16 for a tell-all revealing interview. And of course, you can also watch Fashion Photo Review. It's back. Tongue-Tied, Bring Back My Girls. International versions of Drag Race like
Brazil.
Yes, España All-Stars. España
Yes.
All-Stars. The first international All-Stars. All that and so much more at WowEpisodeSplus.com. Blake, do you have a question?
I do. Now, remember, these will all tie together in my next segment, but who was the first host of A Current Affair, the tabloid journalism show, which was the first of its kind, but quickly was followed by Hard Copy and Inside Edition? Who was the first host?
Oh, my God. Okay, we'll have the answer right after the break here on the Wow Report.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with James and Blake. We're counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go
Wow.
Blake, you had a question.
I did. Who was the first host of the tabloid television show A Current Affair?
Well, I want to say it was Bill O'Reilly.
He was Inside Edition.
Okay.
Would it Joe Dunleavy?
Nope, not Joe Dunleavy.
Diane Diamond.
Nope. He's also married to Connie Chung.
Oh, I was Maury Povich, of course. Yes.
Of course, it's Maury Povich.
I remember it well, like it was yesterday. Yes. In fact, because I was very good friends with Maury and Connie's daughter, Susan Povich. She was a big scene girl back in the 80s. And we would have dinner with Connie and Maury all the time.
Well, we should have Susan on the show.
She runs a lobster roll shop in Brooklyn, I believe now.
We should have her on Night Fever.
There we go. Yes.
All right. All right. We're counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go, wow. We've reached number 4, Blake.
Number 4.
Now, when I say 1989, at least for the time being right now in this moment, lots of people will probably think of Taylor Swift's birth year or the album of the same name that she just re-released recently.
Sure,
but I just watched this. It's 5 years old now, but it's this documentary made by National Geographic called 1989, The Year That Made Us. And 1989, maybe you guys haven't thought about this, but it was in fact a monumental year.
It was a monumental year because that was the year that I was going out with Carlos, and it was just one of the greatest years of my life. I will never forget it. It was the Red Zone and the world. It was.
I have that. That's number 2 on my list right here. But
yeah.
But
a young Michael Alig was conquering the club scene with his club kid retinue.
But Fenton, there was a lot of things from your book Screenage available wherever books are sold.
Right.
That like paralleled with this documentary. For one, like the Menendez brothers, that happened in 1989.
Did it?
Yeah. The Batman.
With the Joker, sure. I remember standing in line opening night with
right.
Carlos.
The documentary's 6 episodes, but they're only like 20 minutes each, so really quick. There's, Tiananmen Square in Beijing, that happened in 1989. The fall of the Berlin Wall happened in 1989.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down those walls.
Right, and to bring it back around, the Berlin Wall, ABC had people there, CBS had people there, NBC had people there. Well, Rupert Murdoch was the conglomerate behind A Current Affair, and whenever he loaned Maury Povich and another correspondent from A Current Affair his private jet to fly to Berlin, and there's a famous photo of a guy with a pickaxe.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Standing on top of the wall, right?
The correspondent that was there with Maury Povich actually got that pickaxe from like a fire station there and was picking at the wall, and the guy asked to hand it. So it was a correspondent from A Current Affair that handed the guy the pickaxe that was seen all around the world. So just like lots of...
Tell me, though, I want to know what were the big songs of 1989. I remember Mentirosa. Remember Mentirosa?
Oh, I know Toy Soldier by Martina.
Okay, sure, yeah.
When was, what about Pump Up the Jam? Pump Up the Jam.
I think that was 86, 87.
Okay.
It was the year of The Simpsons.
Oh, of course, and Tracy Ullman show. Yeah.
There was an episode about the 3 biggest branding things that happened in the world that changed the earth as we know it in 1989. And they were The Simpsons, The Little Mermaid, and Batman. So that's what has to, that's why I asked.
Batman.
And Batman.
Yeah. You know, Bust a Move, the young MC.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that was my first tape.
Love Shack.
Which yes, young RuPaul was on the rise.
Right. Like a Prayer. Madonna.
Like a Prayer. Yeah. Because the next year Vogue came out.
Yes. And let me see.
Oh, Father. Remember, there's so many songs from that album. Oh, my God.
Oh, a favorite hit. She Drives Me Crazy. The Fine Young Cannibals.
Crazy.
Ooh, ooh. The sound of that snare drum on She Drives Me Crazy. I just, you know.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Remember Prince singing for Batman?
Oh, right.
Yeah, the Batman.
No.
Well,
yes.
I would totally recommend this documentary, and you can even stream it for free on National Geographic almost.
But here's my question. Why? Like, why 1989? I mean, the year that made us. Every year made us. Come on, every year is
true. I mean, you could do this for 1986. You could do it for 1978.
It's a franchise.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to watch the show for their argument.
Okay. So that's what you're binging now, and you're binging 1989, the multi-part documentary series streaming for free, apparently, on that National Geographic.
I watched it on Hulu, but yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Number 3, James.
Number 3.
Sadly, I was correct when I predicted Jon Stewart, his return to television was going to be a bomb. I've been angry with him since 2015 when he...
You're just bringing your resentment back to the...
No, but it's true. We've talked about this where in 2015, he had the voice of the world and he walked away from his TV show, handing the presidency to Trump. He was derelict in his duty. He should have he was tired of his show and he walked away at the moment we needed him the most. Now he's back. He's doing Monday nights on The Daily Show and people are furious with the first episode. I don't know if you've been online today.
No,
people are up in arms. They are taking to the streets. They are, I mean, just the anger, the outrage, because he spent the entire time bashing Biden about his fucking age. He did once again, he is working against, if you remember in 2015 and 2016, he hammered Hillary about the emails over and over and over and over again. He has the ear of liberal college students, and his Hillary bashing was infuriating, and now he's doing the same thing.
I hate to hold you to account, but the last time we talked about this, you said that he caused Trump to win the election by leaving his show.
That's what I'm saying. His dereliction of duty, he walked away from it when we needed him the most. Now he's back and he's doing the same thing. He's doing both sides of them. And he spent the entire time talking about Biden's age in the same week, if you recall, that CNN did one of their shows saying that equating Joe Biden's age with Trump's 90. They said, which is worse, Joe Biden being old or Trump having 91 counts against him? Like, what? What is this sort of false equivalency? The New York Times this week did a story saying that his age was the same thing as Trump saying he would distance himself from NATO and allowed Putin to attack whatever country they want. How can you put these same things together? And how dare Jon Stewart feed into this narrative instead of pounding on the things that Biden has done? He's feeding into the narrative that one guy is old, and that's worse than Trump being an evil, megalomaniac dictator in waiting. And it's the power that he has, and he's both sidesing it. Like, why does everyone feel the need? Why does CNN feel the need to both sides it? Why does the New York Times feel the need to do it? And now why does Jon Stewart need to do it? We can't afford to be this idiotic.
I think that's very well said. And I was just so thrown and appalled by that Department of Justice thing about It's just like
it's like Comey. It's like what Comey did. It's what Bill Barr did. It's the same things where they know what they're doing, and instead of giving a 2-page document, which is what they did for Pence, they gave it was a 2-page. He did 300 pages of Biden bashing. Of course, that's what the media is going to pick up instead of 2 pages with what they gave to Pence.
It is very bizarre and very scary, and I'm with you 1,000%. Moving on to talk about things of lesser importance, perhaps. Number two. When was the last time anyone really cared about who was on the cover of Vogue?
It
might have been a while ago, but there seems to be a lot of attention paid to Edward Enninful's goodbye cover on UK Vogue, which features 40 diverse women.
It didn't pop the way he wanted it to.
It didn't, but that's the thing. But everybody's in sort of ecstasies and saying how marvelous it is. I was reading one of several articles describing this as some sort of masterpiece of planning, which I'm sure it probably did take a lot of people.
Once you get Oprah and Jane Fonda and Kate Moss and Miley Cyrus on the same cover, and not do that thing where you have 20 here, 20 here, and 20 here that you Photoshop together, that they really were together is a feat.
Were they? I was going to ask that.
But they were together, but to what end and what was the point? I suppose perhaps the fact that the promise of them all being in the same room, having a mega celebrity super clusterfuck was in of itself magnetic and drew them.
We do this every year with the Oscar luncheon where they take that one picture of everybody from all the Oscar nominees together, and it really, a couple of months ago they had all the supermodels together. I don't know if you remember that Vogue cover, and that to me was a little exciting. But to me, this was just like an odd mishmash of nobodies and somebodies and people that I cared about and people I don't care about, and what was the purpose of it? And to me, Edward Enninful is being groomed to take over American Vogue. I think that's what it is.
Yes, I think in a way it's a huge feather in his cap. Yes. And it's all about him because the cover itself does not pop. It's very bland. Yeah. And Trey Spiegel, who's written for the Wow Report, pointed out that if you look at it, the picture, the arrangement of the women is a natural V shape, which just points to Oprah in the middle. But you kind of have to look really hard to see the V. In fact, so hard he actually scrolled it in red so you could see it. And then all the women were in neutral colors, like sort of black and bone and beige, too, because it was all about them, their personalities, rather than the clothes. I call bullshit on the whole thing. And then it only took 15 minutes to get the shot. And they think that that's somehow remarkable because it was so well planned and everyone arrived in 15-minute intervals. And then when Oprah arrived, she got a standing round of applause. I just like, oh, for God, it's so Marie Antoinette. It's so sort of Versailles-like.
It is. It's a little like that sort of self-congratulatory, like we're all fabulous and famous. And I mean, not to take anything away from Edward Enninful, because his stay at British Vogue has been pretty fantastic. And his covers, when you think of that Adele cover and some of the Lady Gaga covers and things like, he's done some really amazing stuff. And he manages to do inclusion in a way that doesn't feel forced. Yes. And he is sort of a breath of fresh air on the magazines.
And all those women had been on one of his covers.
Yes. Okay, sure.
And so, I felt that ideologically it was unimpeachable, but just the end result was kind of unremarkable.
It was going out with a whimper instead of a bang, basically.
There you go. That got spun up into a bang. The whimper that got spun into a bang. 3 new flavors of House of Love. Now here's a bang. 3 new flavors of House of Love cocktails are available at houseoflovecocktails.com. Vodka soda citrus, passion fruit margarita, and a totally tropical mocktail. J'adore.
Available at houseoflovecocktails.com.
That's correct. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to be in the office tomorrow. Maybe I'll smuggle some out in my pants.
Absolutely.
Have a little party tomorrow night.
Yeah. We'll take one more break, and when we come back, reveal the number one thing this week that made us go, wow.
Wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
All right, welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton here with James and Blake, who's standing in for Tom. And we've been counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow. And it means that we've reached that point where we reveal number one.
Number one.
We have to talk about the Super Bowl
We
and
do.
the halftime performance, and of course Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and,
All right.
and everything that goes along with it.
They're saying it's the most watched televised thing of all time, which is not true. The moon landing was more watched. The moon landing had 150 million, according to my
which is not to poo-poo on this what happened on Sunday, because I know for a fact that it was the first football game that I watched from start to finish. I know that you watched the football game from start to finish as well, which is something that is
never watched one before in my life.
Why did y'all watch it?
For some reason, first of all, I love that Patrick Mahomes boy. I think he's so cute. I think he's adorable. Every time Travis Kelce is on the show, you get a flash of him. I was excited. Waiting to see Taylor.
Bearing the headline, I watched it for Taylor. I was tracking her jet all the way back from Haneda Airport in Tokyo, landing at LAX in a somewhat fictional created rush against time, because she had plenty of time. But it was very exciting. And, I think they missed a trick, because they really should have just had a Taylor cam and maybe done it as a live. That's what Paramount Plus should have done. Instead of trying to stream the game and having all those crashes, they should have just had a premium, pay $5 extra Taylor cam just to stay on that box. Because
that would have probably sold out, because I feel like the reason that it is the most watches because of Taylor Swift and all the
definitely. There's no two ways about it. That she not only has she handed the NFL the comeback. Remember, because all the Republicans were going to stop with boycott the NFL because Trump said it was not cool anymore, and Colin Kaepernick ruined it for everyone. This is one of the best comebacks I've ever seen. The fact that Taylor riles up the Republican base like nobody else is fascinating to me. I do want to talk a little bit about the halftime show, though, because Usher, I am not the target audience. I was a little underwhelmed by it. Apparently, you have to have been in high school or college when came out, Blake.
Yeah. Well, but I don't understand why, like, Usher as the Super Bowl halftime in 2005. Yes. But like not
no, because they always get people a little past their prime, and they give them their flowers.
Rihanna is not past her prime.
Rihanna as a singer is past her prime. Yes.
How dare you? Madonna.
Rihanna is a global brand ambassador for her Fenty brand, but she's not a singer anymore, and she will never put out another song again as long as she lives. She's just not. She hasn't put out anything in 10 years, and it's not coming for another 10 years.
She put out the Top Gun song or whatever.
Oh, she did not. You're lying. Anyway,
Black Panther.
Oh, you're making this up. The interesting thing to me, though, was that I learned
fake news.
Usher was paid $671 to perform at the Super Bowl, but he will make $100 million on streaming alone. So it's one of those back end deals.
Well, and he got engaged at least, and at most maybe secret married this weekend too.
Well, I've heard that he went to Justin Bieber on bended knees, begging him to be in it, and Bieber said he wasn't feeling it, so he didn't join. But show itself it's there's no way you can fuck it up. It's built in, it's baked in that you're going to do a fantastic job.
But I do think it's weird that the reason that it was such a success this year is due to Taylor Swift, but not that she was the halftime person.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, she doesn't even need to perform in order to be the star of. But but you had Usher on roller skates. He takes his shirt off. He looks fantastic. He has all these.
I thought it was very
he's hitting that bum note that then you heard that they edited it out in the. Since then, have you heard this?
No.
The first note that she sings is like, and everyone was like, what is wrong with Alicia Keys?
Apparently it was microphone trouble.
Every YouTube video of it, she doesn't do that. They've edited it out and changed. They've rewritten history because she was like a cat in heat is what it sounded like. Like something you hear in an alleyway at 3 a.m. It's awful, dear God in heaven.
I so glad they won, whatever that team is.
The Chiefs, yes.
Thank you, because if they hadn't, Taylor would have been blamed, like, from here to Kingdom Come.
Well, yeah, but I have a feeling that when you have the power of Taylor on because Travis has had his best year ever. I think that there's just so much energy focused on them that there was no way that they could lose. It was just inevitable.
But James, they so clearly nearly did. I mean, that was what was the most unbelievable.
The overtime of overtime. Yeah.
Yes.
But then I think Patrick Mahomes, though, is the true star. I think he's so cute. Did you see him in Disneyland the next day?
I did not.
Have you seen his little dad bod? Do you know who I'm talking about? Patrick Mahomes?
No, I don't really.
He's the quarterback. He's the MVP, and he has a little dad bod, and he was took his shirt off the other day, and he was like, underneath the fat here are the abs, and he was like pointing. It was just really cute. He's just wonderful.
Well, speaking of overtime, we are.
Wait a minute, I did this with Blake earlier. Marry, fuck, kill Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, or Taylor Swift. Who are you going to do, Fenton?
What do I have to do?
Marry, fuck, kill one of them.
Oh, marry Taylor, of course.
That's what I said. James
I said Bill Taylor, but I clearly wasn't thinking straight.
What did you say?
Fuck Travis, marry Patrick, and kill Taylor, which I wasn't thinking because Taylor has the closet and the jets and the.
Only kill Taylor if you're in the will.
All right, that's all. We are in overtime here. So thank you, James. Thank you, Blake. And thank you out there for listening. Same time, same place next week.
Definitely.
Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
wow.